agreeing with you, you're agreeing with me.
No, it's my show.
All right, gotcha. Respect that.
Okay, I'm the point guard. You're the very talented wing.
No, I just stand in the corner. Go ahead.
She's
Feed
the
me
coach.
the ball.
Joy's the coach.
I am the owner/president.
There you go.
I am Jerry Jones.
LeBron. Everybody knew it was mogul stage, and I've always had this theory on the greats. Jay-Z, LeBron, it doesn't matter. The show-off stage, I'm good. I need to win Grammys, titles, Oscar stage. I need validation. And then you get to the point where it's like, I got all that stuff. I'm mogul stage. I love basketball, football, baseball, but I'm going to make some business decisions. Do you feel LeBron's all in on basketball?
As all in as LeBron will be in the regular season living in L.A. Like, he can be more all in Cleveland, but in L.A. he has different shows, different things he wants to do, talking about being an owner. But I would think if the Lakers do make the playoffs, I do believe he'll be all in the playoffs, because even last year, he wasn't all in on the Cavs during the regular season. I mean, they were awful defensively. He was awful defensively, but he flipped the switch in the playoffs and went to a whole new level. So as all in as LeBron is ever going to be in the regular season, but it doesn't mean when the playoffs start, I don't think he's going to be thinking about the barbershop and all the other shows that he has going on.
So I talked to somebody who in the last 7 to 8 years has been on a coaching staff with LeBron. I talked to him for about 15 minutes last night. And I said, should they get rid of Luke Walton? He said, no. You have to understand, when you have LeBron,
sure,
there's just tension.
Yeah. There's
just rumors. What do you make of Luke Walton? What do you do with him?
I mean, I think Luke has done, given the circumstances, a great job. I don't think at the beginning, the comment that really got me at the beginning of the season is when Magic Johnson said, we're not going to do it the way Cleveland did it. Cleveland doing it and going to the finals. Cleveland doing it and winning a championship. We're going to build this team differently. He was trying to reinvent the wheel around LeBron. You want LeBron to be good. You want to win with LeBron. You need guys that shoot and guys that play defense. The offseason, and I get it, they were limited because they wanted to keep flexibility moving forward with their cap space. But the guys they get, I don't think are great fits for LeBron. And I think for Luke Walton, that's a ton of pressure to try to coach a team where everyone in L.A. thinks that because we have LeBron, we're going to win a title, or because we have LeBron, we're going to beat the Warriors and go to the finals. I think those are unfair expectations. At the beginning of the season, I said the Lakers are going to be fighting for the 7th, 8th spot, and they'll be in there with a few teams. There'll be 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. I believe, regardless if LeBron got hurt, didn't get hurt, took some games off or whatever, I thought that they would be fighting. So right now, my expectations from all the people that they have missed, all the games that they've missed because of injury, I think they're right where they're supposed to be. So I'm not going to blame Luke Walton for this one.
I want to shift to a team you cover more regularly, the Boston Celtics. I said this for years and years. People believe the world is flat. And then Aristotle tweeted that it wasn't, and Magellan retweeted.
That was pretty funny.
Okay, and now we acknowledge, okay, you have to sometimes look at data.
Okay.
The Celtics, down across the board, are a more efficient team offensively and defensively without Kyrie. That's not a shot at Kyrie.
No. Wait, when you say without Kyrie, you mean when Kyrie doesn't play or when he's off the floor? Because those are two different things.
When Kyrie does not play and they go into a game, they are 9-2.
9-2.
They are more efficient. They pass it more.
Oh, yeah.
They score more.
Oh, yeah.
They win more. The field goal percentage is higher.
Yep.
Even Kyrie, a three-point shooter, they shoot better from 3.
Correct.
The data's in.
The data's in. You know, the data against playoff teams is 2-2. You know, those other 7 wins are all against non-playoff teams. The Clevelands of the world, the Bulls of the worworld, like those type of teams.
Well, those teams count too.
I know they all count, but with playoff teams, with Kyrie, you cannot. And they're 2-2. The 2 losses they had was Utah at home and Brooklyn when they got their doors blown off in Brooklyn. And they could not answer a run without Kyrie when D'Angelo Russell was going off in the quarter. So when people say 9-2, you can't look at 9-2 as just a number. You have to dive into what is that 9-2. And the only 2 wins against playoff teams were against Brooklyn at home. That was one of the wins. And what is the other one? It was Philadelphia. That was a 9-2 win. Those are the 2 wins they've had against non-playoff teams.
Well, those are good wins. I think Philadelphia's a nice team. You know what it sounds like? You want Kyrie to work.
No, I'm not.
He's injury
You just
prone.
go off about the data. Data this, data
Yeah,
that.
I like data.
I'm giving you the data. They're 500 against against playoff teams without Kyrie.
Aristotle used data. You
went on about data.
I love data.
Okay, data is 2-2. That's 500. That's not as good as where they're at right now. They're not as good. You have to admit they're not. You can't win an NBA championship without having special players, and you have to believe.
You don't think Jason Tatum's special?
Not his second year in the NBA. He's a special player for a second-year player in the NBA. But you want to just put him out. He's not an all-star this year. Jason Tatum has the ability to be an all-time great. But his second year in the NBA, he's not at that level yet.
How come you can say what you want, but when I look at the numbers, couldn't you make the argument? And I've heard other NBA guys do this. Brad Stevens, Butler-raised, young Celtic team, stars are different. LeBron's harder to coach.
No question.
And Kyrie's no day at the beach. Kyrie is an injury-prone, not a great distributor. World is flat, little flaky.
I'm not going with that non-distributor thing. I know the world talks about that. He doesn't move the ball. That's not what I see. And I'm there every game, sitting at half court, calling every game. To me, I thought at the beginning of the season, he moved the ball too much. I want to see more. When things are good and the ball is moving and guys are making shots, I don't really care what they do. When things start to go sideways, this team is so inconsistent. By the way, the other day against the Clippers, he was there. He got hurt. You remember the game, right? They were up by 20 right at the end of the half. They lost by 11. That's a 31-point swing at home when Kyrie got hurt. So what about the data for that game right there? That game goes on your 9-2. When he is not playing and things start to go sideways, because in the NBA, teams make runs.
Yes.
He can answer the run with a pass or with a shot. And there's not all NBA players who are good, who average 20 can do that. I think one of the best I've ever seen, Tim Duncan's loud 14 points a game when he would score toward the end of his career. Popovich knew the team was on a run. I'm going to Tim Duncan. He's going to stop this run. LeBron does that in tough, tight games in the playoffs. Or he comes out of a timeout, knows he gets a bucket so he can get the momentum back. Kyrie makes momentum-changing plays when things are going sideways. So in the playoffs, it's momentum. Right now, the Celtics are inconsistent. Kyrie has the ability to get them on track. I would never give him up and think that the Celtics were ever a championship-caliber team without him.
So since you're anti-analytics and data...
I'm not anti.
It seems that you're close to it.
You're going to give me a bunch of games where you're playing against Cleveland and non-playoff
those games don't count.
No, they do count.
What league is that?
But when you factor in data, you also have to factor in things like back-to-backs and where teams are coming from. You can't just pick and choose your own data.
Small forward didn't get a good night's sleep. That data doesn't count. It's the NBA.
All right. Let me hear your data, and I want to see if it has any validity whatsoever.
Westbrook used to be an elite free throw shooter. Now he can't hit the side of a battleship.
I got nothing on that. But I do know this. You were piling on Westbrook.
God, come on.
When he was getting triple doubles.
Oh, God.
You have to love the way that he's playing right now.
No. It's a better Westbrook.
Way better.
Because he should not 4 minutes go. If Paul Jordan wasn't on the team, take the shot. But right now, 4.5 left, give it up to the shooter. This is the best Westbrook ever.
All right, finally we agree. Because, we've disagreed on him. I'm like, getting a triple-double is hard to get. Oh, I love the way that he's playing right now. I think if you ask any coach going against him, they would say, I want the old Westbrook to stop.
No, I agree. Yeah. But when I used to say that, guys like you just tore me out.
No, I'm not. You can't discredit a guy for getting points, rebounds, and assists.
Come on. He was a rigid ball hog.
A rigid ball hog.
He was a rigid.
Give me a different type of ball hog.
Well,
I want to hear that. Like James Harden is a smooth ball hog.
He was a very rigid player, living kind of an insular game. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to change. As Durant would sit in the corner shaking.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that.
Okay.
I had no idea he even had to send him. I would have thought that if you have Durant on your team, that you would be a facilitator to a certain extent. Like the guy has it going. Let's keep it. Let's go to the well, feed the pig, whatever you want to call it.
But he didn't for a long time.
And he's doing it with Paul George, and now he's so good at doing it, he's making Paul George an MVP candidate.
Yes.
That's unbelievable. So can I at least get a little bit of credit for him?
But by the way, have I given him
He's been a hater. He's been a Westbrook hater. You have been.
So you're acknowledging the previous 9 years I was nails. I was right. I was willing to be honest.
Well,
you're admitting that he was a rigid player.
No, I didn't say rigid.
What did
That's
you
your
say?
word. I said, I'm not saying anything about it. I thought it was pretty impressive what he did before. I just think that this guy is harder to stop.
And statistically, they win much more
That's all
when
I
he
care.
has triple doubles than when he
Well,
doesn't.
they also win more when he shoots less than 20 times. So the triple double's less important. What's really important is shoot 13 times, 4.5 to go, find your MVP wing.
I will say, I love the way that he's playing now. I love his approach to the first 6 minutes of a game. I'm going to get Steven Adams, the big fella who's going to go to war for me and battle on the boards.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him going. I'm going to get Paul George going. I'm going to get everyone going. I'm going to fly in there and get rebounds. And then at the end, if he's like chasing a triple-double, how hard is it for him to go get 12 points, 14 points, 16 points? Not that hard. But I think right now, he, as athletic as he is impossible to stop when he's passing the ball like this. If he can just cut down on the turnovers, then he'd be an even more unstoppable player.
I think that's just part of his game. The speed of his game translates to turnovers. Okay, I got to read this real quick. I'm way behind. Peloton's a game-changing indoor cycling bike. Have you ever been on a Peloton bike?
I have.
Yeah, it's indoor.
You do that.
I have done it.
There you go.
Learn more Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit the local showroom. Brian Scalabrine, great seeing you. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So